Hello and welcome to Trout Talk, episode 27 here on Saga 960 AM. Brendan Lang, Mikey K, Mike Karafalidis, and Zach Bodenstein, three broadcasters for the Mississauga Steelheads, here with you today on this Sunday afternoon. No Steelheads game today, actually one coming up tomorrow. That'll be the Family Day game, so I know we're all looking forward to that one. Should be exciting. Should be a lot of people in the building for that. We'll get to that here. Maybe in the last segment we can kind of tee that up, but before we get to the hockey stuff, Mikey, Zach, how are things going recently? What's been going on in your lives?
What's been going on? Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah. Same thing with me, guys. Just working on myself, always good stuff. Shave my face. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I don't have much facial hair. I don't think I've been this bald on my face in a really long time. So it takes like a few years off. I feel like I look a lot younger. It even throws me off. I walk by the mirror like a car window. I'm like, who is that guy? But I feel good, you know. It's just like less distractions on my face. I feel okay. If the most exciting thing over the last week is my facial hair, things are pretty status quo for me. I'm all good.
Facial hair, nice. Very nice. Well, everything's been good. You know, just the grind and stuff, and you know, we had some games in the weekend and stuff. So we've been at the rink and some good games. Oh my goodness, I'll tell you that. So. Other than that, you know what? Just family and Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day. You know, every day is Valentine's Day for the wife and girlfriend, stuff like that. That's the way I look at it. But it's a very special day, and celebrated it with heart-shaped pizza for my son and stuff like that. So that's pretty fun. And he was pretty excited about it, and more excited about the pizza. He looked at the heart shape. He didn't really care, to tell you the truth. He said, "Oh, it's nice." So yeah, 5-year-olds, right? So, but it was nice. It was good. It was good. Valentine's Day is a good day, and that's about it.
Where'd you get the heart-shaped pizza from? I've never seen that before.
You've never seen it?
No.
You could order it anywhere. Yeah.
I guess. Oh, okay. Where'd you get it from, though?
Pizza.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Pizza is a good spot.
I'm not endorsing pizza. Just let everybody know and stuff like that. It was just, whatever. So, yeah, I think you get it there. You can get a Boston pizza.
Okay.
Anywhere, right? So,
man.
That's a marketing scheme. Just love everyone every day.
Yeah, there you go.
That said, I went out on the 13th, so the day before, and then we're doing something next week too. So we're trying to do like a 2-in-1. Plus, we got a trip coming up. So like, I don't know. I'm so big on principle. You guys know me. If I go out on the 14th and I'm spending extra money, like I did get gifts, but I don't know. I just don't want to fall for it. I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't know.
Yeah, man, you're right. It's, every day should be Valentine's Day. Mikey already said that off the start, right? So you don't need a day for it. It's just so, you can buy flowers and people can make money off that. That's really
it's a scheme. It's all a scam.
It's all a scheme.
It's all a scam. They give you that Valentine's Day menu, and it's like double, and it's a fixed menu.
Yeah,
always. Yeah. And you look at it, you go, "Oh, that's nice." Veal Parmesan, usually whatever, $23 for that day. It's $35.
Supply and demand, man. People will pay it, and that's all they care about.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a one-day thing, it's all good. But it's not all a scam. I'm just kidding around when I say that, but it's nice. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we got a couple things going on, talking about Valentine's Day, talking about work, but also the Steelheads. Mikey, you said it. We were in the rink a lot this past weekend, and some really good games for Mississauga. Maybe not as many wins they would have liked to pull out, but we can kind of start things off with the game in Peterborough. And Mikey, you can start us off with that one. Steelheads win it 5-3. A good game for them, and kind of a good start that sort of got the ball rolling as they went into the weekend.
Yeah, total domination by the Steelheads. They came out with fire. I tweeted out fire and passion. It's just unbelievable the way they came out. So strong, so hard to the forecheck against the younger Peterborough team. They took advantage of it. They didn't say, you know what, we're not going to take our foot off of the pedal at all in that game. And just goals, guys, the way they were zipping the puck around in that power play, unbelievable. Jack Ivankovic made some big stops. Some of the goals for Peterborough, were on a silver platter. None of the goals were his fault. Jack Ivankovic's fault, if you ask me. But yeah, the team really came out on fire. Jakob Fibiger really looked good to me in that game. The way he was controlling the power play as well. against the Peterborough Petes, but total team effort. They were able to just roll 4 lines that game. Angus McDonnell was good. Porter Martone seemed like he's starting to get going, boys. So look out, and you can really see that on Thursday against Peterborough and on the weekend as well. But it was a good start. It was a good start. They really came out on fire.
57 shots on goal for a team that wasn't generating many shots. And you mentioned it with Martone. I think for me, the biggest indicator with him is how well is he moving his feet. Sometimes he likes to slow it down, but maybe a little bit too much. He had that tempo up, and he put up 4 apples in his hometown, which I know he's always fired up to play in Peterborough. We know that firsthand. He's told us. So it's awesome. I love that win. Strong through the neutral zone, great goaltending. Once again, they took advantage of a weaker team, but we said it on the last episode. It's a tough place to play in Peterborough, and they got it done.
Very tough.
Tough place to play. And also when you're kind of going into the playoff race, there's teams that you have to beat, and there's points that are on the table, and the good teams are going to be able to win those games and pick up those points. And the Steelheads did that well in that game. And then Zach, you just kind of mentioned the offense there, and they got things going. They weren't generating a ton of offense, got it going a little bit on the northern trip. And then this past weekend, their offense absolutely exploded. Porter Martone getting back on the board, getting his 30th of the season. We can go into detail a little bit about that 30th goal a little bit later on in the episode. But yeah, big win there in Peterborough. That's 5 goals scored there. And then they put up another 5 spot at home on Friday night, and that was against the Barrie Colts. And once again, they go down early. I think it was 2-0, 2 power play goals to start the game for the Barrie Colts, and Mississauga comes roaring back and takes the win in that one. I mean, that was a massive 2 points that they were able to pick up against the Colts.
So that was a great win against the Barrie Colts on Friday night. You know, as you said, you're down 2-0 early, and then you come back and you win the game 5-4. The way they played that game, especially in the second and third period, they didn't let those penalties get to them. But again, Sam Hillebrand was a guy that really beat them the first 3 games, right? I mean, he was stopping everything. He was like Superman, as far as we're concerned, right? Like, he was just unbelievable. And then that game against the on Friday night, he looked good in the beginning, Sam Hillebrand. Then after that, the Steelheads got traffic in front of them, right? And they just kept pouring shot after shot after shot. And then they came back to win that game. And as I was saying, I was going to say that those are the kind of games that build character, that will win you championships when you win those kind of games. And they did. They came back from 2-0 to win that game. And that was a big character builder win.
2 young teams against each other. Very resilient effort from the Steelheads. I'm going to say it like I say on every episode, though. The penalties are really killing this team. And the more they go to the box, again, you could have a top 5 PK all you want, but if it's going out there 5, 6, 7 times a game, it is really hard to win with 2 young goaltenders. So that said, I mean, they did respond well. Obviously, they get the late power play goal to get the win. They continued to fight back, which ended up being a theme this weekend. We can talk more about that, how they played against Sudbury, but they showed resilience this weekend. I will give them that. The depth scoring came up big. I will give them that. And they are really starting to find a new groove with these new forward lines. And again, still no Mason Zabeski, but it really looks like this offense is starting to come to life. You score 5 goals, and then you score 5 goals, and then you score 7. So this is what we like to see in terms of offensive production.
Yeah, you like to see the goal scoring, but also just the shots on goal as well, because they were getting outshot in pretty much every game on that northern trip leading up to that. And then they outshoot the Peterborough Petes, and they outshoot the Barrie Colts. That one was 45-23 in favor of Mississauga. And you talk about the depth scoring, Zach, and one of the guys that has really stepped up in that role has been Dean Locust, playing on the top power play unit. And they kind of broke out of a power play slump there in Peterborough and continued that 3 goals in the power play in the game against Barrie. Of course, you have the big one by Parker Von Richter at the end as well. So the power play seems to be kind of coming to life again as well, which is also big for the Steelheads team.
Doesn't Dean Locust seem like he's getting so comfortable now, guys? The way he's playing, he had 2 goals against the Peterborough Petes, and he just continued on the weekend scoring. And on that power play, he just looks more and more comfortable with the guys. And this is good to see. And you know what about Dean Locust? Good pickup. He's a good playoff guy too, guys. So he's always got playoff points with the Saginaw Spirit. I am looking forward. Dean Locust is really looking good on this team right now.
Yeah, he's a perfect fit on the bumper spot on the power play because he's smart. He's got the soft hands. He knows when to kind of back off and open himself up for a shot. Just a really smart, experienced player. And that's where he's scoring all the goals. He's got that great shot. You get him some open ice, he's going to cash in.
Right.
That's right, yeah. And then also we can quickly here before we get to our special guest talk about the last game of the weekend that was on Sunday against the Sudbury Wolves, and that was a crazy game. I mean, back and
Mm.
forth all the way. Same thing. They got down early 4-0 down against Sudbury, and again came back. Didn't end up getting the win, losing it in overtime. But Mikey, you talk about character against the Barrie Colts. There's a lot of character shown in that game as well.
Oh wow! I mean, you're down 6-3 at one point. They're down 6-3. And I think I looked at you guys up in the booth. I said, this game is not over, not by far. And it wasn't. They came back, and again, 6-6. 6-6. Angus McDonough was an absolute beast in that game. Everybody was a beast. Finn Harding was absolutely phenomenal in the back end in that game as well. I mean, you talk about, okay, they got 5 out of 6 points in that on the last 3 games. That game there, to get a point from those Sudbury Wolves who had everybody in the lineup, they didn't have anyone that was injured. They had their top-notch guys, right? To lose if a couple goals, and then maybe in the first period, as far as I'm concerned, the one went off of the linesman and stayed onside. I don't know if you guys remember that. Hey, take that away. Take away maybe a couple penalties. Steelheads win that game.
Yeah, it was a great. First of all, shout out to our listeners. We set a listener record that game.
Yes.
It was a phenomenal game. So thank you to everybody who tuned in, because I mean, this wouldn't be possible without the listeners. So let's give 100%. A shout out to them. But yeah, what a game. That was the game of the year. That was absolutely incredible. I got to say scores 15 times. That was incredible. But again, the penalties kind of killed them, but it was the same script on Friday. They battled back. They really did fight back against arguably the best team in the Eastern Conference. And it really just does go to show, because I mentioned it, all these games are playoff games down the stretch. And this is a team that has a little bit of a defense issue in terms of keeping the puck out of their own net. I don't think Vondras was very solid on Sunday either. But Mississauga took advantage. Stevie Leskovar's second OHL goal, the depth scoring aside from him really came through. Special teams, I mean, I guess I should just say power play. The power play was good. So a lot to like from that game. You obviously want to clean a lot up, but they hung in there with a really talented Sudbury Wolves team.
Yeah, they really did. And then once again, you talk about the shots. They outshot the Wolves as well. And again, they got off to a slow start. That's happened a few times here lately, but it doesn't seem to stick with them for too long. They're able to really break out of that and obviously go on a run and almost come back, and now enforcing it to overtime. All right, so we're going to take a break here on Trout Talk. And when we come back, we're going to talk to our special guest. You're listening to Saga 960 AM. And welcome back to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Brendan Lang, Mikey K, Mike Karafalidis, and Zach Bodenstein with you. Now I'd like to welcome onto the show, second-year forward with the Mississauga Steelheads. It's Jack Van Volsen. Jack, thank you so much for coming on today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Not too bad. So again, thanks for coming on, and just kind of want to get you the feel out on where you are in the season right now, how everything's been going, and just sort of what you're looking forward to here coming down the stretch.
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, obviously, it's been flying by so far. Kind of thinking back, it's almost, what do we have, 17 games left, something like that. So, yeah, I mean, the start of the year, obviously, we got out to a nice hot start, and I think it was great, just really good for our team. It kind of showed and proved everyone else that, even though we're a little bit of a younger team, that we can win games. And I think it just really built up our confidence and stuff like that. And then, like last month, maybe there's been maybe some ups and downs, but I think recently, like I think I heard you guys talking about earlier, that weekend there, we got 5 out of 6 points, which I think was really huge and kind of got us trending back in the right direction for sure.
All right, Jack, let's talk about the trade to Mississauga. I want to talk about one thing specifically. I know it was over a year ago, but do you remember wearing Luca Del Belbalouse's hockey pants at the start of your Steelheads tenure?
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, that was pretty funny. So right when I got here, we drove down from Peterborough and whatnot, and right away kind of meet JR, meet all the coaches and staff, and then kind of the next thing we did was just go see Freitzy and making sure I got my helmet, gloves, and pants, and Freitzy's the best, so obviously gave me all the options, and not really like a huge guy on new gear and stuff like that, so. We thought the best choice was just to use a used pair of pants. That way they weren't really kind of so stiff because we were playing the next day, right? And yeah, I think I remember seeing that picture. I think I just scored and my jersey was tucked in and you could just see 73, which was pretty funny.
Jack, when you came to the Steelheads, you pretty much played your minor hockey there with Porto Martone with the Toronto Junior Canadians. I remember your first shift when you guys got out there for your first game. You guys were zipping that puck around like you guys were total on the same page. How much of a help was that to be playing with Martone in your first game?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, we kind of had talked about it too. Obviously, there was a lot of rumors for both of us, going into the trade deadline and whatnot. And we were always kind of texting, just like hearing things about ourselves and stuff like that. And then we kind of both heard the possibility that we might end up back together, which was kind of crazy. But yeah, like you said, I think it really helped. Kind of the trade coming unexpectedly a little bit. I think it really helped going into it with someone I was really familiar with. Obviously, I kind of grew up playing against him, grew up skating with him in the summer, and then obviously playing with him on the junior Canadians. So yeah, I think it was more of a comfortability thing. I think just knowing someone and going through it with him, the trade being that young and going into a new team. And yeah, like you said, playing that first game with him also helped.
And you came over from the Peterborough Petes. Now you've gotten to play them a few times just this past week. You were there in Peterborough. So what's that like going back there after you've moved on and playing in that building again, and then also just playing against guys that you played with in the past?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of it's different for sure. Obviously, this is the first level where you can be traded and stuff like that. So last year was a little bit weirder, I'd say, just the build of their team. They've kind of gone separate ways, and there's only a couple guys that were there when I was there last year. But last year for sure, going like the first time I played them, it was just every time you're on the ice, like a guy's just like smiling at you or like hitting you in the back of the pants or something like that. So it was fun. I mean, I love playing there and going back to that building. It's fun. I mean, it's not so fun as an away team, but yeah, you get to see people. They have lots of great fans there and stuff like that. So you recognize some people, and it's all cool and it's fun.
So, Jack, for somebody in their second year in the OHL, it's pretty typical to see them pop off in the second half of the season. But we're seeing that with you. You're sniping one-timers on the power play. You just look a lot more confident. So what's gone into this resurgence for you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, coming into the season, kind of it's obviously you think about it and it's a big season, like with your draft year and everything like that. So, I mean, obviously the first half, it was there was some ups and downs and stuff like that. And I mean, it was it wasn't obviously, maybe I was getting some bounces here, maybe I wasn't, things like that. But I think it just kind of really tested my character and tested my resilience and making sure I just stayed, kind of in the right mindset, not letting little things get under my skin, things like that. And yeah, I think just coming back from Christmas, it was a little nice break just to clear my mind and whatnot. And yeah, like you said, things have kind of started to go better for me in the second half. And yeah, I think it's just about confidence and just about kind of, knowing that it's sometimes just nice to see one go in and then you kind of just build from there. But yeah, kind of just play more loose and yeah, everything just kind of goes from there.
Jack, you've been described to have the best one-timer on the team. Not going to tell you who said it. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a nice compliment. I mean, I think my shot's something that I kind of take pride in. It's something that I work on a lot. So whoever said that, that's
not going to tell you. Sorry, buddy.
That's all right. That's really nice of them. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's something that I've always worked on. I love shooting pucks. When I was younger, my dad always kind of made me little setups and stuff like that for me to be able to do that. So it's something that I've always loved to do. And yeah, I love when I get to show it off.
And talking about your shot, of course, we've seen it shown off here recently. Zach was just talking about it on the power play, but you mentioned it being your draft year as well. So going into this season, sort of what's an area of your game that you're looking to maybe elevate moving forward as you kind of get closer to the NHL draft?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think one of the main things was, especially during the summer, was just my skating. I mean, obviously kind of being a little bit of a bigger guy or especially as a centerman too, it's skating so important. And I think one of the main things was just about my pace of play, just always trying to get up and down the ice as fast as possible and making sure my feet are always going. I think sometimes, maybe I would tend to, stop my feet here and there just to, watch the play, just because I do like to, I think one of my strongest attributes is, thinking the game, but sometimes I feel like I would, maybe think the game too much instead of just kind of reacting and using my feet. So that's something that I focused on. And I think I had a big summer with my skating, but I think especially for the rest of the year, I think just keep moving my feet and kind of use my speed.
Let's talk about this new line with you, Angus McDonnell, and your billet brother, Lucas Carmiris. I mean, you guys are all center eligible. You can all play the wing, very versatile line, but you guys are really clicking right now. So let's talk about how you guys are playing so well.
Yeah, it's actually pretty funny. When I first jumped on here, Lucas was peeking his head in, so I was trying not to laugh. But yeah, like you said, I think we click really well together. Like you said, we all can play center. We all have play center, but I think that's kind of what makes it. I think maybe that's like something that we all have in common. It's just the way that we are able to play both positions. I mean, it kind of works out, say one of us gets kicked out of a face-off, the next person's really comfortable going in. So that's also an area, that's in our favor. And yeah, like you said, they're both really good players. And I thought we had a really good northern swing there. We had a couple good games in a row. And yeah, they're two guys that are, really easy to play with. They can both put the puck in the back of the net, make plays. So when you're playing with guys like that, I mean, it's just kind of, you kind of build chemistry right away. And it's been fun to play with them.
So you billet with Jack Ivankovic and Lucas Carmiris, as we talked about. Lucas Carmiris says he might drive you crazy with playing the guitar. Is that true? What does he play? What kind of songs does he play? We're just wondering.
I mean, no, I think it's really cool. I mean, at the start of the year, when he first moved in, he was kind of playing it a lot, and I actually tried to get him to teach me a couple things, just because it's one of those things where it's like, when he's pretty good, he plays a lot of country songs. Yeah, mainly country, I'd say. But it's it works out because we both love country music, whether we're driving together and whatnot, we're always playing country. And yeah, so I mean, at the start of the year, I kind of tried it out. It's hard. I mean, he said he kind of learned it and taught himself over the whole summer, but yeah, I'll hear him. We'll get home from practice and I'll just hear him strumming away. So
that'd drive me crazy. I don't know, holding that thing like this, and doing like this and like this. I throw the thing like that. So I'm done anyway. That's me.
So are you still playing? Like where are the guitar skills at with you?
I probably will go into his room and try to play it here and there, but no, definitely not as much as him.
You play any instruments?
No, it's funny because I used to play the guitar when I was little, and then I kind of stopped for a bit, and then he's kind of it'll kind of bring me back, and I'll try to match him, but he's way better than I am.
Let's circle back in the hockey sets for a second.
Yeah.
That's kind of my fault there, talking about country, music. Actually, it's not my fault. I'm not apologizing. But anyway, Reed Gee back on defense. How much does he motivate you guys, you personally? Because it seems like he stepped up his game 100% back there, and it just seems like he's going out there. I mean, he got in a fight against the Barrie Colts, against Aitchison, the tough customer. It seems like, and he almost got in a fight in Peterborough, which the refs broke up at the end of the game. But how much does he pump you guys up personally? And who's the main pump up guy? If it's not Reed Gee, who's the pump up guy in the dressing room for you guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, I played against Reed in minor midget, so I kind of, when we made that trade, or the first day, I think we were playing Ottawa that day, and he was just kind of in the room before the game, and everyone's like, oh, none of the players kind of really knew about the trade, but right when we did, we're all talking, and I remember that in our minor midget season, we played him. He was on Quinty, and we played him in the semifinals of OHL Cup, and he was just we knew he was a hard hitter, tough guy to go against, just from our personal experience playing him. So we thought it was a great addition, and that's kind of, as a forward, it's kind of especially going against other teams, how tough it is. If the other team is one of those guys that, that's going to hit you hard and be a prick to you. So I think it's really huge for our back end. Just one of those guys that's really tough to play against. And like you said, with the fights, I thought that was a great fight against Barrie, especially against Easton. It always gets the boys going. So, and then the second part of your question, before the games, I'd probably just say Booty, just because he's he's always got the music going, and he's kind of in
Yeah.
charge of that. So he's kind of dictating, the vibe and the song, and he's not afraid to get loud and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, we've heard from a few guys that Mark Boudreau kind of handles the music. So I've been wondering this, I'm meaning to ask all the players, but who creates the warm-up playlist? Like, how does that come about?
I am not sure. I am not sure. I don't know if we have any. Wait, do you mean the warm up on the ice or like?
Yeah, on the ice, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we have any say in that.
Oh,
so
you don't? Okay.
I don't know. Maybe the older guys, but I haven't heard anything.
Is it not the team? The team, like the people in the broadcast booth, they don't.
I think it's them, but like I don't know if they asked us. Maybe it's our social media people. I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack, what kind of music pumps you up then? We said you're a country guy, but is that like if you're playing a big game 7, are you bumping country or are you bumping a little bit more upbeat music?
Maybe on like the way to the game, just I don't really, like going there early, I don't think I'd be able to like get my head rocking like 3 hours before the game. So I think some country in the car would be nice just to kind of relax myself and kind of just stay in a good mood. But I'm like, realistically, I'm not the pickiest guy about music. Like, I'm not like, it has to be this, has to be that. So mainly just like, I don't really like rely. Obviously music helps like getting you fired up, but I don't think it's like the biggest thing for me getting dialed in. I mainly just go along with what's in the room. So usually it's like some rap, some rock. We like to switch it up.
Jack, it's your draft year this year. I just want to ask you one thing. Now, if you were to tell an NHL scout right now something about you, why should they draft Jack Van Volsen?
I think I would just say that I'm literally just willing to do whatever I can to help our team win that game, and whatever instance it is, whether it's offensively, defensively. You need a big shot block, you need a big face-off, or you're trying to score a goal to tie a game, something like that. I think I'm always going to put the team first and just do whatever's best for the team.
And staying on the hockey side of things, Zach mentioned it earlier that you're kind of playing on a line with all centers. You've played some center, you've played some wing. So how does that work, being able to kind of adapt to playing both spots?
Yeah, I think it helps. I mean, I think it's always good to show that versatility, especially for NHL teams and stuff like that, just so they can see that you can play both. And I think I grew up naturally a center, so obviously that position comes a little bit more natural to me, and especially on the defensive side of things, kind of just my positioning, the D zone and whatnot. But I don't think wing is like, I think maybe like the first, when I go back to it, like say I get put on the wing for a game, maybe the first like couple shifts, it's just like, I think it's just about being comfortable, because it's kind of a different, especially it's just a different situation. In the D zone, you're kind of more standing still. As a center, you're kind of roaming around and picking up speed when the puck's going out. But as a winger, sometimes you just got to kind of stand there and take a hit and just chip it out. So I think over the last 5 games, I've gotten way more comfortable, and especially I played some wing last year too. So I think every time I do it, I just get more comfortable.
Well, you think the game so well. You've even said it yourself, but it's something we've noticed. Hockey IQ is certainly one of your strengths. Have you ever played defense? Because you are really smart in the defensive zone. So I'm curious, have you ever been on the back end, or have you been forward since day one?
I think like my first year of hockey, I played a little bit of defense, but I think that was only because my dad was a defense. So when he played, he was a defense. So I think he probably wanted me to try it out for a bit. But no, I think after that, I just went up to forward.
Your new nickname for me, you're the commander. From now on, you are the commander. Hockey IQ off of the charts. The way you play the game. From now on, you are referenced by me. These guys, I don't know. It's up to them if they want to say it too. But you are the commander. That's all I have to say. Honestly, you could be the commander in chief of anything. I could see that. Commander in chief, JVV, Jack Van Volsen. Yes, you have the hockey IQ, the way you play the game. You keep that going. And right now you are known as the commander in my books. Yes.
So you have that nickname from Mikey. Do you have any other nicknames that people call you?
Mainly just Vanner, Vanny, anything.
Not a commander.
Yeah.
The commander.
And
Yeah, I
the
think,
commander now.
I think we got to get that to we got to get that to stick. You had referenced your dad there. He played in the OHL as well. So how much of a help has he been being able to be with you, through your hockey career? And then now that you've made it to this level, kind of, he has some experience doing what you're doing right now.
Yeah, for sure. He's obviously, the guy that I've always looked up to. He's always been there to help me, always helping, my teams, coaching, things like that. And yeah, he's helped a ton, especially kind of throughout my minor midget season and the transition to the OHL, kind of telling me and just prepping me. And it also helped that his brother played in the OHL too. So it's kind of, I have a background and kind of knew what it's like. Like I said earlier, he was a defense, but, so a little bit different for me, but yeah, he's been there every step of the way for me. And, I've always just kind of relied on him, giving me feedback, everything like that. I can pretty much talk about anything with him after my games, before the games. He's always there for a call. So, he's been a huge help and can't thank him enough.
So I know you're with the Billet family, but has he told you about maybe the lifestyle in terms of the diet, like cooking for yourself, eating the right things? Like, has he kind of shown you the way in the kitchen, or was that mom, or was that somebody else?
I'd say a bit of both, actually. I mean, they were kind of right when I first moved away. I don't really, when I was especially like living at home, I was never really too big on making my own meals and stuff like that.
I'm still not, so don't worry about it.
My parents were always amazing for that stuff too. But so now with the billets, sometimes you gotta make your own breakfast and whatnot. But over the past year, I'd say I think I've grown a lot. I'm always good for some nice scrambled eggs or whatnot. I think I'm pretty good in that way. I can make some pasta. So, I mean, they've helped me. And if I have any questions, probably just FaceTime mom and turn the camera around and she'll tell me what to do.
So what else, Commander? What else do you like to do, like besides hockey? I mean, play the guitar. We all know that kind of stuff. We know you're going to be, in my opinion, you're going to be drafted to the NHL the way you keep going, the way you're going right now. But what else do you like to do outside of hockey? I know you like to go on the boat like everyone else and all that kind of stuff, and fish and whatnot. So what else does Jack Van Volsen like to do? Read books? I don't know.
Probably not the biggest bookworm, but I've always kind of just been I think I've always just been the guy that loves sports. I mean, growing up, I always played lacrosse in the summers. It was kind of where, when I'm from Whitby, so it was kind of cool because all the guys that played hockey, we pretty much all played lacrosse. So it was kind of like the same team. You just flip-flop seasons. So I love playing lacrosse. I played up until a couple years ago. So I still if there's a lacrosse game on TV, I'll love to watch that too. But I think just spending time with my family. I love my dog. I was never really the biggest dog person, and then we got one, and it's kind of I love dogs now. So.
What kind of a dog, Jack?
It's a mini golden doodle, so nice and fluffy. Yeah.
What's the name?
Crosby,
and the Commander is the father. I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
After Mason Crosby, obviously, right?
Yeah. Or Bill Cosby.
Well, that's a different one. That's a different one.
I don't know. I just Bill Cosby.
Yeah. You mentioned he had a football mention there. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Were you into that at all?
Oh yeah, we after our game Sunday, we kind of all got together and watched the Super Bowl. I'm not the biggest football fan, but I watched the game. It was a crazy game. So.
Yeah, no, it really was.
Do you think it was fixed?
I don't know if I believe all that stuff. Everyone's saying the script.
Just everybody thinks it was fixed. I don't believe it either. I just want to get your thoughts.
I don't.
What do you guys think?
I think there's too many people around it that if it was fixed, something would come out. Somebody would say something. I don't believe that sports can be fixed in that way. But anyways,
I think soccer is. Disagree. Sorry. Go ahead.
You think soccer is? Okay. Anyways, I don't know anything about soccer, so it could be fixed. I have no clue. Jack, thank you so much for coming on, man. Really appreciate you coming here, and congratulations on the season so far. And just keep it up, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks, Commander. See you soon.
Jack.
All right, that was Mississauga Steelheads forward Jack Van Volsen. We'll be back to recap that interview and talk about some games coming up here on the weekend for the Mississauga Steelheads. You're listening to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Hello and welcome back to Trout Talk here on Saga 960 AM. Thank you for coming along with us here. Brendan Lang, Mikey K, Mike Karafalidis, and Zach Bodenstein. Just talked to Jack Van Volsen there. And guys, a good conversation with him. Lots going on this season. And then you can tell the hockey IQ. You said it, Zach. You can see it on the ice, but you really notice it when you can sit down and talk to that guy.
He's very well spoken. I think that was something that I noticed right away when he came to Mississauga. Very well spoken. Body language is just very mature. That goes a long way when you're talking about NHL teams. They want to draft men to play against men, and whether you're 17, 18, even 16, I think character really gets built in those years. But they are kind of looking at the person you are, and we know the Steelheads do the same when they're drafting and they're building their team. Brendan, we've said it. They build from the locker room out. They need good people, and they need to just build a good, fun, hardworking, and mature culture in the Mississauga locker room. I think Jack fits that.
Yeah, 100% he does. 100% hockey IQ. I'm just going to piggyback on what you're saying, Zach. His hockey IQ is off the charts. That's why he is the commander now. I know I've said that a million times. That's where I get the commander. But I'll tell you something. In that northern road trip, guys, when he really got going against Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds on that Friday night, and ever since that game, he just turned up his game a notch. Even before that, too. But I really noticed him on Friday. And on the weekend, he was well noticed, too. Every game now, he's just getting better and better. And I think he said it right when he said, look, I took a step back during the Christmas break. I took a deep breath. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm overthinking the game too much. I got to start moving my feet and just be myself more, to stop overthinking. And he's done that. And look at the way he's played right now. And with this new line with Carmiris, him and Carmiris have really been playing well together. And Billet brothers, that's another thing. But it just seems like ever since the Christmas break, he's been playing really, really well, stepping up his game.
Brennan, before you jump in, I just want to say we got a life tip from Jack Van Volsen. Just clear your head, take a step back, detach, and then reset. Like that's Jack Van Volsen just kicked off our life tips, guys.
100%.
He did. I feel like that's.
Don't get all rattled and just say, wait, hold on a second here. Is this worth getting stressed out about? No. Relax. And that's it. Yeah. Sometimes, whatever, but that's a great life tip. Yeah, I agree.
That is. Yeah. And obviously he was talking about it kind of in a hockey sense, but yes, in life too as well. And too, how we kind of said, in the first half, maybe some bounces didn't go my way. It was kind of like, yeah, okay, maybe it didn't have the greatest first half, maybe didn't have the first half that he wanted personally, but it didn't, let him get too down about it. He thought, he was still playing good hockey. Sometimes the bounces just aren't going, and then you reset and he's really taken off here in the second half. And you talked about being on the power play too. He's unleashing that shot, getting the one-timers off. And yeah, he's been a huge piece for them, for the depth scoring that you talked about earlier on in the episode for the Mississauga Steelheads. All right. So we got about 5 minutes left on Trout Talk here today. We'll now talk about the game. No game actually here on Sunday, but we do have one coming up tomorrow. That's the Family Day game, 2:00 in the afternoon. The Owen Sound Attack are in town. Zach, what are you looking forward to in this one?
Colby Barlow, man. I said it at the beginning of the year. I think this kid is, when healthy, arguably one of the best. I mean, arguably the best. We know he's one of the best. Arguably the best player in the OHL. He's mature. He's a first-round pick. Just a man amongst boys in terms of the way he's built. So anytime you get a guy like that coming into town and he only comes once a year, that's going to be a treat. Don't take this Owen Sound team too lightly. It is a really tough Western Conference, and this is a tough team, Mikey.
Yeah, no, they're good. I'm looking forward to the goaltending matchup the most.
Oh, yeah.
Patterson Leaders against Carter George. These guys played against each other in the top prospect game, man. And they're going to be looking to outdo each other. Last time these two teams met, the Steelheads really outplayed the Owen Sound Attack and absolutely dominated them. But they added guys like Connor Smith at the deadline, and he's a guy that's been a pain in the butt for the Steelheads ever since when he was a Peterborough Pete. But I look forward to the goaltending matchup, and it's going to be a physical game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Mississauga, you just said it there, won the first matchup between these two teams and really dominated that. Looking forward to all those things you mentioned. And for Mississauga, just hopefully maybe you can see them get off to a little bit of a better start. We talk about them being able to come back all the time, but it would be nice to come out there, maybe score the first two goals of the game, maybe get a power play early and put one in, worrying about the the discipline as well. So maybe you
60
can,
minutes.
Yeah, that's right. It
60
would
minutes.
be nice to
60
see.
minutes. You have to keep the pedal to the metal. 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Just
Like
keep
to
the
see-
You gotta
intensity
keep
up,
it going.
right?
Keep the centering passes going, but you got to keep the 60 minutes going hard. You have to start from the beginning, go hard to the end, and they're going to be just fine. I really am looking forward to that game, big time. I think it's going to be great.
It's such a good point, Brendan. Wouldn't it be nice to just see them win like a coaster, just like, score a few early ones and just really just dominate the game and not stress. Like, it would be really nice for them. Again, it's a young team. It's a really competitive league. So it's way easier said than done. But I mean, every game is tough to win at the end of the day, but it would be nice to see them get off to a hot start in the meantime and just have to defend a lead versus coming back. We do love the resilience, but if they were to get off to a hot start and then perhaps try to shut down the other team, great analysis, but that's probably a better way of going about it.
Don't forget, this is a team that's missing Mason Zabesky right now on the front end.
Mhm.
When he comes back, they're gonna have some. James Richmond's gonna have some thinking to do about the lines. How am I going to put
sure.
him or Mason, whatever, right? But wait till he comes back, guys. I'm telling you, it's a good thing that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we had talked about on previous episodes, and Mikey, you were the one who brought it up, where OHL seasons always go this way, especially with a young team. Like, they get off to such a good start. They have a little bit of a downturn, but it really seems like they're starting to pick it up again. And coming down the stretch, this is exactly one you want to start getting hot. And I could see them getting up the standings a little bit more, finishing fourth, even around that spot. Like, I think that's something that can definitely happen because the East is so wide open right now. Sudbury looks like the team that's probably going to be first place, but outside of them, or even including them, I mean, it's so jam-packed right now.
Look at this. Look at the standings right now. Sudbury Wolves, 66 points. I mean, first place. Brantford Bulldogs, 64. 62 North Bay in third. 60 for Oshawa and fourth. Steelheads sitting at sixth right now. 1 point behind the Ottawa 67s right now, right? For fifth place. I mean,
remember,
that's how close it is right now.
That comment I made before the game on Sunday, I said the Steelheads won their last game and they dropped in the standings. That really goes to show how tight things are.
Yeah,
right.
Because everybody's winning right now, right?
Yep.
And so everybody's winning ahead of them, but the Steelheads are keeping up with everyone right now. So that's a good thing. So I don't know. Jack, we don't want to talk about playoff matchups right now because we say it's a jinx. No, not happening. Absolutely not. So, but you got to keep winning your games right now to get them hot at the right time, Brendan.
Yeah, they really are. All right, we got 1 minute left here. Zach, Mikey, anybody got a quick life tip they want to throw out there? Okay, Mikey, you got one. Let's hear it.
All right. So here's the thing. If you are, mental health is a big thing out there. Okay. Now, if there's something wrong, don't be afraid to go and ask for help because there's lots of people, nobody knows what anyone else is going through, right? So if you have a problem, ask for help. It's okay to ask. That's all I'm going to say. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, that's a great one. Mine would be just be accountable. If you commit to something, follow through with it. Things happen. Obviously, obstacles happen in life and things get in the way, but be accountable, follow through on what you say you're going to do. And I think that goes a long way in terms of your character.
All right. 2
100%.
good tips to end things off here today. Thanks for coming along here on this Sunday afternoon for Brendan Lang, Zach Bodenstein, and Mike Karafalidis, Mikey K. This was episode number 27 of Trout Talk. We got no game coming up after, but we do have one tomorrow that we just outlined. That's going to be the Family Day game against the Owen Sound Attack. Thank you so much for coming along once again. You're listening to Trout Talk right here on Saga 960 AM.